Okay, hello again, grade 12. We're going to now do this activity on page 153 in your grade 11 textbook. So we're going to open the program in the change delimiter folder and write a procedure. What is it? First of all, what is a delimiter? Delimiters are just little characters that separate words and numbers in a string. So wherever there's a space in a sentence, we're going to put in a symbol. And we're going to write a procedure called change delimiters to accept a string and the current delimiter of the string and the new delimiter of the string. And we replace the current delimiter with a new delimiter and display the original sentence and the new sentence one below the other. This procedure is going to do all of that, and it's going to display. So this procedure is going to accept 3 parameters. So we're going back to procedures now. So let's go and write the procedure. Well, we can write it anyway. I'm going to go put it up here. Procedure. What's it called? Change delimiters. By the way, you can't use 2 words. You can't do that. No. It has to be 1 word. And in brackets, we're going to receive the string, colon string. Then we're going to receive a character, C old, and then we're going to have C new as well. 2 things, which are going to be char data types. See how I've worded the C old? I could have done this, a C old colon char and then comma C new, semicolon C new char, but because I've got 2 of the same data type, I just shortened it, and all you do is put a comma in between them and that will be also a char data type. So there's 1, 2, 3 things that are going to be received by this procedure called change delimiters, and we're going to look for the C old and replace it with C new. Control Shift C, there it is. And which string are we working in? S line. Okay, just to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. The current delimiter and the new delimiter, yep, replace the current with the new, display the old sentence and the new sentence, one below the other in our display component, which will be this thing here, mem display. Right, so we're going to go through each character of S line. So to do that, we use a for loop, and I've got to declare a variable var inside my procedure. See, this is the header. So underneath I've got to put my variable k colon integer semicolon, and of course the string S new string, the new string that I'm going to build, because I am going to build a new string. Suppose I could do it another way, but I won't. So for k equals 1 to length of which thing, not S new. S new we're building the length of the string that's coming into this procedure, S line, begin and end. Right, so I'm going to basically do the following. If S new character number k, if that is equal to the character old, C old, I know it says cold, but anyway, the old delimiter, then I'm going to dot S new, S line, the string coming in. Then I'm going to build S new equal to S new plus C new, the new character. Okay, I'm going to add that. I'm going to use the new character. Else I'm just going to say S new equals S new, join that to S line character number K. Now that's how I'm going to do it. Okay, build a new string, safest bet. So right, so I'll have S line will be my old, actually, yeah, we've got to use S line because we're going to display S line, so we can't change S line, so this is the only way to do it. Why? Because we have to display the old string, which will be S line, and the new string, which we're building here. And we're going to do that in our mem display dot lines dot add S line, that's the old one, and then we're going to display dot lines dot add S new. So we're building the new string. I mean, we're displaying the new string. I think that's all we have to do. Yeah. Right. Display the original and the new one below the other. So if you recognize, I hope you can understand this code. We're going through each character. If it is the old, if the character is the old delimiter, then we're going to add the new delimiter to S new. Otherwise, we'll just go and add whatever character there is there to S new. Okay, that's that done. Now we're going to go and use the procedure. That's the difficult part. And this original delimiter thing and new delimiter, right. But what about the line itself? Where are we going to get our string from? Okay, we got read file. Oh, we haven't got this other one. Read file data. We're going to read data from the text file. We're going to have a procedure called read file data. I've forgotten about that one. We've got another procedure to write. It's going to read data in the text file and store it into an array. And you can assume that the text file may not contain more than 10 entries. Okay, fine, but I'm going to do it my way. So we're going to write another procedure called read file data. That's going to store values into an array. Where is this array? It's a global. There it is. And we've got our count for our counting the number of boxes that we fill. And the procedure is going to be called read data. So I'm going to go and put it underneath this other one here. Procedure read data. And is that going to have anything coming into it? No, it's not. No. Are we going to store it in a text file? And we have to have a text file variable. So let's make that a global text file, shall we? Because we're going to use it. Oh, no, we're not going to use it as global. The array is global, so we don't need the text file variable to be global. No. So the read data procedure, read file data, doesn't have anything coming in. It's going to be working on the text file and the global array. So we highlight it, Control-Shift-C. And of course, you know, we can go test if the text file exists. Where's the text file? Vowels. Is it? No, it's not that one. What is it called again? Change delimiters. Okay, it's called sentences.txt. There it is. Okay. So let's go and create a text file variable here. var my file text file variable s1 line string. We're going to go and see if not file exists sentences.txt. Then we must show a message. And are we going to exit? We might as well, because are we going to close the program or exit? No file found. Well, this program won't operate without the text file, so application.terminate. If we can continue running other things, then we can just put exit here, and then other buttons can be clicked. Alright, so in your assign file, my file to sentences.txt. As you can see, we're doing revision of grade 11 work. Reset my file, and yes, you will be examined on all of this in grade 12. So while not end of file, my file do begin and end, read the line, read ln my file into s1 line, and s1 line has to be going zapped into the array, which has a counter called rCount. Okay, so we'll increment rCount, and then say ARR, what's the ARR sentences box number rCount will be equal to s1 line each time, and that is a successful reading to the array. So we don't need the text file globally because the array is going to hold all the names, and we're going to use that array in the next thing. So that's what that procedure is going to do. The on-click event of this change delimiters, read the original delimiter from the edit boxes, call the procedure, and then call the other procedure. Done. It's going to be simple, but of course don't forget we got to call the procedure change delimiter. Well, have I got two of them? Right, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? Oh no, it's a button. I've got a procedure called change delimiters. Yeah, that's confusing, isn't it? Here's the procedure change delimiters that's going to receive a string and 2 characters. We have to remember that. Anyway, so the change delimiters button, we're going to get that character from there, and a character from there, a character EDT original delimiter, a character EDT new delimiter. So I'm going to use char data types, var c old delimiter, c new delimiter, colon char. And how are we going to get a character from a string? Equal to EDT EDT original delimiter dot text. Well, you can't make a character equal to a string, so you've got to use square brackets 1 or 2 or 3, but of course it's only one character. The first character is fine. And C new delimiter is going to be equal to the same problem, because I declared a char data type, and I've got char data types in my procedure parameter list. EDT new delimiter dot text box number 1. That's an important thing to note. Right, now I used char data types here because my procedure called change delimiters is going to accept a string and then the 2 characters. But don't forget, the strings are all in an array, ARR sentences. So we have to go through each box of the array. We can use a for loop because we know how many boxes there are. How many boxes are there? rCount number of boxes. So for k equals 1 to rCount, do. We're going to do begin and end because we're going to do a couple of things for each box of the array. So think of each box of the array holds a string. So the first parameter of change delimiters is called ARR sentences box number k. Second parameter c old del, and the third parameter is c new del. Now how did I get that? Right, so what you do then, if you're going to call, I'm going to do it again, change delimiters, because they said we must call change delimiters, okay, and we also have to call the procedure read file data, don't we? We can't do any of this unless we do the read file data. Okay, so read file data. As long as we do it before we go and change delimiters, it'll be fine. But you have to make that happen so that the text file can be read from and put into the array. Now we can go and use the array in the change delimiters, going from one box to the last box of the array. We call change delimiters, open brackets, have a look there. We have tooltips. The string must come in first, so okay, ARR sentences square brackets k, that's our string, then comma, then we need a, well, okay, so the tooltips disappeared, but don't worry about that, because we know what the parameters are of our procedure. 2 characters, C old and C new, but we've got to use the variables over here, C old delimiter and comma, and then C new delimiter. Okay, you don't use C old and C new here, you've got to use the variables that you have here. Everything that you've calculated here, then you go and put those in the parameter list, and then change delimiters is a procedure, so you don't have something equal to change delimiters, just call it change delimiters, and we know that we've actually, in the procedure, we've displayed the lines, so now this should work. So let's run the program. Now my original delimiter, I'm going to make a space there, space, and then over here I'm going to put a star. Let's see what happens. Change delimiters. So there it is. All the spaces have been removed and changed to stars. Now this is happening in every single box of the array. Now we must remember that we need to actually have a line in between each one, eh? Mem display, wait, do we need to do it over here? Yeah, mem display dot lines dot add. Let's make a line in between each one, and let's run the program again, and let's see if it works. The original delimiter is a space, so we never change anything in the text file. Then I'll put a star, and I click change delimiters. Okay, there it is. Now well, holidays are important. Okay, where's the original one, or that one? Oh, there it is. Okay, now if we put a star there and then we put a hash, I wonder if that's going to change the separators or delimiters. Uh-oh, it couldn't find the stars. Couldn't find the stars because it's taking the original. We never wrote anything back to the text file, you see. We never saved anything on the hard drive because that read file data is only reading from the text file. We're only working from the text file itself. Okay, so anyway, that's just an example of how to use a procedure with more than one parameter. Try it by yourself.